Greetings, viewers, and welcome back. Red Rupee here, calling the shots for you tonight, as always, for another Replay Tuesday here at Sparky Pants Studios. I've got by my side, of course, none other than Deckard for this high-level match. How are you feeling tonight, Deckard?
I am doing excellent. I'm very excited about what we're about to see. We've got a special week because we just released the Summoner class.
Awesome, new tech for this week. Interesting.
Yes, and not only that, but we have our top players. Kavash, rank 3 versus Warcraft 3 pro player IamyAws.
Oh man, so this guy is top tier micro. He's been playing RTS for ages, and we've got, oh man, speaking of the Summoner, we've got General Vex coming in here for IamyAws for a second draft pick. Gravity Gun, Null Field, and Reconstructive Maneuver as his picks, facing off against Recon, a pretty standard Recon with boosters, missiles, and shock prod. Oh, and General Vex here for Kavash. The same build, actually, as IamyAws, so we'll have to see, I guess, which of these play this Summoner better.
Yes, I'm not sure how much Summoner action they've had time to practice with, but we should see some excellent plays from these two. They adapt very well to new change.
Alright, well, just real quick, let's take a look at the Summoner loadout just so you guys know what's coming. Gravity Gun is an ability that allows you to suck in all units to a single point. So offers some CC abilities and lining up combos. Null Field is a silence, so first silence to be shown in the game.
Silence and damage.
And damage, yeah. It's an AoE ability that sticks out for a little bit. And then, of course, Reconstructive Maneuver, which is like a short-range teleport, a blink, if you will. And then a couple software. These two you're familiar with, Intelligence Grid and Velocity Ramp, but Evoker's Web actually gives the rig more ability damage based on how many allies it has nearby.
That's right. And over here with Kavash, his real name is Nathan, but we should, calling him Kavash might be a little difficult. We'll do our best. Got Shock Prod on Recon, and we got an upload from IamyAws already.
Yeah, so far we've got First Blood on the map and Boss Slayer as well, so the farming's not even going to be necessarily that big of a priority if both players can play aggressively. They don't have to worry about keeping track of the alphas is hard, and in the early game they could maybe try to go for a quick kill, maybe across the jump pads or something like that. That's a play I always like to make, try to bait people into overextending on Mind the Gap since there's so few escapes.
Right. Another interesting piece of gear to look at is Nanite Ray that IamyAws has equipped on his Cortex. This piece of gear does damage to foes and heals your friends, your allies. So you could even line up some people, some of your allies and foes ahead of that and do one shot and do healing and damage at the same time.
Oh, look at those long-range rockets! The shock prod firing back and forth!
That is
oh my gosh,
amazing.
The way shock prod works is there's actually no distance requirement on it. So long as you take damage, it will fire back at any rig regardless of range. And the way those were bouncing back and forth right there almost cost IamyAws his recon.
Yeah, with a 4-second cooldown, shock prod is an interesting gear to use when retreating.
Yeah, if the distance gets far enough between these two rigs, man, we're going to see those firing back and forth all game, aren't we?
Oh!
First Blood going to Kavash.
Down.
That one thing about Summoners is that they are very much a support class, so you have to be very careful with having them on the front line. They offer a wide range of abilities that can really bring your composition together, but they are a bit squishy, so it's definitely a higher micro kind of a risk-reward class.
That is correct.
So sitting here after these first couple engagements, it's looking like Kavash has a nice handy lead right here, 4 points ahead. And IamyAws going with the level 4 recon right out of the gate, as is Kavash. So both players kind of prioritizing that DPS carry gunner.
General Vex has about 10 seconds left to respawn.
Yeah, still the power play for Kavash right now as he clears his first level 2 hive.
Look at those twin coils just bouncing around. Oh, his ability's off. There we go.
He has both twin coils and shock prod, so it actually makes this recon a pretty decent farmer, along with fragmentations rounds, which anything that dies to weapon damage from this rig might explode and cause damage to nearby enemies. So might even, I guess that could come into team fights as well, or maybe even stealing farm from your opponent if you catch them while they're farming and hit some Kavash, get some bonus damage in there.
Yep.
So let's see, Cortex going up while the other two rigs hop off the farm and everything's just farmed up. It looks like Kavash wants to fill up these rigs with cores and then maybe hit that uplink.
Yeah, Kavash not spreading his units out too much. His Summoner coming in. Gravity Gun pulling Cortex off the uplink. Another excellent use of Gravity Gun, the displacement of it.
I don't know. I don't know.
Just saying, great for uploading core stoppage.
Yeah, the interruption, there's so many uses for Gravity Gun. I'm really waiting to see it line up with a good rocket barrage and just wipe out a whole team of enemy rigs or something along those lines. Once you learn the timing, that can be really brutal. And
especially with Nullfield on top of that, because you might have some heal ready to prevent that kind of combo, but if there's Gravity Gun, Nullfield, and then a bomb on rocket cluster on top of that, it's lights out.
Yeah, both these players are running that reconstructive maneuver as well, so it's very interesting to see. Oh, there goes the Recon, just barely getting out of there. Vex looking pretty hurt too. This Cortex looks like a Cortex he wants to level up, so I'm surprised that he's not prioritizing that. He hasn't been able to get down his heal bubble or his capacity overload. So let's see what...
Neither of them going for vision towers just yet, though.
Kind of odd to see Kavash bring all 3 rigs back when it was really only Vice that was injured.
Yeah, he might be feeling the pressure, because I know these two have a bit of a friendly rivalry going on. At Gamescom in Germany, they had a couple games on the stage together. Friends in life, but enemies on the game.
There comes another Recon rocket cluster followed by that
Oh, and the blink
boost.
away, saving General Vex.
That reconstructive maneuver makes these summoners very hard to lock down. You really have to either root them, silence them, or something along those lines if you don't expect them to escape. Man, and it just seems Kavash is not letting up the pressure. These uploads are constantly happening.
Another Gravity Gun, Nullfield going down, preventing any abilities from being cast from Vice. Cortex chasing.
And just kind of giving up there. I guess a level 1 Cortex isn't going to do much to a Vice.
And we've got Recon down at the south. He took out a hive, 2 cores remaining, heading back home to heal with, looks like, General Vex going to pick up some cores.
Yeah, I think he may have meant to shift click because now he's heading back down to the cores.
Yeah.
He must have accidentally missed that core pickup there. Level 3 hive going down here. No pressure on bosses as of yet. I feel like the past couple matches we've seen Boss Slayer on the field and neither player really prioritizes that, which is surprising considering how potent that boss buff can be, especially with a build like this.
Yeah, I'm fairly confused why we don't see them going after the bosses earlier on. With pro players like these, they usually are able to switch out their rigs at the right time and tank the damage, get that boss buff, and then just for even cleaning up hives quicker, you can use that 50% damage. But they must be concentrating on different tactics.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like especially with this Cortex, whenever you have a mech on the field, I feel like Boss Slayer's a little easier to go for because you can kind of mitigate some of that damage and go back on the field healthy with that boss buff. But
Kavash putting on the pressure. Cortex had to cancel his upload. IamyAws has 3 cores ready to upload. He's back at the home base, coming back out. Must have been a misclick from Kavash there during that upload.
Yeah, Kavash has closed the gap. It's only a couple point gap right now, but if he doesn't interrupt any of these uploads, we've seen very little committing to team fights so far. Both players are kind of just dodging and ducking around each other. I think we've only seen, what, the 1 kill, maybe a second? I don't think we have.
I think a total of 2 kills, yeah.
So both rigs now just kind of falling back. Cortex running the uplink game while Recon and Vex run interference.
General Vex uploading a core, I don't agree with that. Summoners just don't have the armor. He could be trapped, bombarded with an ability to attack long range. Not my choice.
Yeah, the problem is right now is that I feel like IamyAws hasn't really been able to bring his composition together at all. Here comes, there it is! That's what I wanted to see!
Thrusters in, Cortex is down!
Oh man, if that was an assassination if I ever saw one. The rocket barrage went down, the perfect timing with the gravity gun, and then Recon thrusting in to finish that off. Now, oh my gosh, wow. It looks like IamyAws' Recon almost went down just farming on the far side there. And now
Kavash putting pressure on the south vision tower, south right vision tower. IamyAws is going to have to make a choice of what he needs to do. He's got to prioritize. He might not even see that he lost that vision tower.
Yeah, he's farming away with total vision at stake.
He needs to grab that
seconds.
Now he sees it. He's moving over to the tower.
Let's see. He'll get there in time if Vice doesn't block the decap. It looks this would have been a perfect time to use Gravity Gun to pull that Vice back off the tower. As it stands right now, it's going to be another couple points getting locked down for Kavash, making it a 4-point lead, which Kavash has more or less been holding on to.
Yeah, he has. He's really faring well against IamyAws. I know during Gamescom, he had a little trouble. Maybe the summoner is what he was looking for in his strategy against our Warcraft 3 pro player. Soon to be
Dropzone. Man, here comes
master.
the orbital bombardment. Will we see the gravity gun go off and hit all of these? No, the silence goes down and cancels that signature ability there.
Repair bubble down. Vice possibly in trouble here. What's he doing?
Oh man, he's just looping around. He's too big to get through all 3 of those rigs and back home.
Perfect body block from IamyAws on with 3 rigs. Can't stop that tank from coming through.
Yeah, those tanks are large and bulky, so if you position your rigs right, you can cause a good bit of additional pathing and kind of block off all of your abilities from getting out of here. The score is closing. 3 gaps between them right now.
Cortex almost going down, but Recon
Oh,
in.
no!
Oh my gosh, General Vex teleported.
Both players losing rigs in that team fight. Recon in a lot of trouble. I don't think Vex can deal with this, though. It's too much damage output. These summoners can't fight on their own.
General Vex is not going to survive this.
He's got the blink. He could have blinked away. A bit of missed micro there from Kavash. Now a triple kill against him. IamyAws is going to have no problem closing up this score, and now Recon's running around the map, ferrying cores back to the uplink. Completely uncontested. There's still a few seconds even before Vice comes out, and if Vice hits the field, there's still nothing he can do. It's kind of a vanilla Vice here. No real additional abilities.
Recon dropping off more cores. He's gonna go home. Nope. He's going home to heal. General Vex uploading. Vice is not putting pressure.
I don't think there's much Vice can do about that. I think Kavash recognizes that there's not really much he could do, although I don't know why he's not up here farming this lone hive.
He must be rethinking his strategy. He might be going... Okay, he's not going down to the boss. He's waiting for Recon to
there
come
we
back.
go. I think this has got to be a boss push. Why else would he be heading down south right now?
Yeah. Though boss
although it looks like both players might have the same thing in mind. Was he not convinced he could do that on his own?
Yeah, I
with those 2
think
rigs?
he was rethinking what he was risking
Recon.
there. Wow. Recon just surviving that boss attack.
Yeah, that boss could have sneezed on him and he would have fallen apart. So this next team fight is going to be a high DPS team fight. Both players are going to need to kind of be super on top of their micro, because with both players having that bonus 50% damage on their rigs, those health bars are going to be dropping super fast. And both players have the option. Well, I guess no. IamyAws doesn't have the option for a bombard gravity gun like we saw from Kavash.
No, he doesn't.
So I think that's something he's going to have to very much keep that in mind.
Yeah. Both players went home to return to get some health, and Kavash is taking the risk. Center of the map to uplink. Not sure what IamyAws is up to. Well, IamyAws is ahead by 2 points, so he's just trying to get more cores.
Yeah, I guess he's not concerned with the triple upload right now, and Kavash only has the 2 other cores on his side, so I guess this is a kind of higher tier understanding right now, is that...
But here comes Kavash right behind. He's not aware of him in the south of the map. He's trying to take that vision tower, but doesn't know that he could have cornered IamyAws while attacking that hive. He sees it now. He's waiting for backup. Positioning is crucial at this moment. Oh, and they're
just dancing
out.
around each other.
Around.
I think IamyAws doesn't want to engage until he has that vision, so he can kind of keep an eye on everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's both Recons do have their signature abilities available. Let's see. Here comes the orbital strike.
Oh, and a blink away. Vice taking the damage.
The tank took it. Vice in a lot of trouble.
Capacity overload missed.
Oh wow, beautiful.
Thrusters down.
Is Vice going to survive? He doesn't survive. He goes down. Opposing orbital bombardment coming down here. That shell hits Cortex. Does a lot of damage, but I think there's still too much damage on the field right now.
Blink away from General Vex. Cortex is out of here.
Whoever wins this team fight is taking the game. Both of these bouncing all over the place. Recon taking a lot of unnecessary damage without the support of Vex. I don't know why he's fighting on his own. No abilities available. Gravity gun finishes both blades at the last second. With a minute and a half left, the last few cores are getting scored here for IamyAws. I think
this
Kavash,
is game.
Kavash has. There's going to be no cores on the field after these 3 go in. It's leaving at 16 to 18 right now. There's 40 seconds before Kavash even gets back onto the field right now after that team fight. He overcommitted. I mean, That could have gone either way. That last gravity gun was it, and finished off both of those rigs. It does a little bit of damage, but it was just enough there to finish it off. You can see right there it does
Vice back on the map for Kavash, but there really is nothing he can do now at this point.
With only a minute left, I don't think he can farm that hive on his own and get back down to the uplink. I think, unfortunately, that's going to be just about it for Kavash.
Yeah, Vice is too slow. He doesn't have his support. It's 5 seconds until General Vex comes back. I mean, it's possible. He could somehow rush this, but no.
With 30 seconds, I don't think there's the time.
Already. It's over.
I think it was really insightful for Yaws to go down for this level 3 hive because he knew all he needed were those 3 cores. And even if his opponent had farmed this one, it would still be a tie game at most. So the onus was on Kavash to really steal one of those cores from his opponent.
Yeah, I also think there was a big misstep from Kavash around this area near the right vision tower. When he saw Yaws at that bottom hive, I think he should have pressed.
Yeah, I think he should have forced the engage right there a little harder. He could have even just stuck back with recon and maybe dropped an orbital strike and either stolen some of that or caused some damage to then choose to engage.
Yeah.
But an interesting game. We got to see at least some of what General Vex has to offer. I think this is close to, if not her default loadout.
And keep in mind, there are 2 other summoners to play with. We have Pandora and Plutus.
These are actually the least summoning of the summoners. These don't bring turrets or mines or
I guess unless you consider it's blinking summoning yourself somewhere.
That's true. You can. I mean, depending on how the lore of Reconstructive Maneuver works. We don't know. It could be like Star Trek where you actually rip yourself apart and put yourself back together.
But some of the gear we can expect from the other summoners that you might have already been playing with are Replicating Rifle and
Cloning Laser,
and, Plasma Drone.
Plasma Drone's really cool. It's a mine that kind of runs around on the field, and what I really like is a Lapse Generator, which kind of gives you your own Kavash to play with.
Lapse Generator is fun. Plutus has that by default, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe he does, along with Nanite. Oh, Nanite Wall. We didn't see any of that. Oh, man, there's a lot of cool stuff. If you haven't been on in a while, please hop on and check out Summoner, because man, oh man, this is just the tip of the iceberg as far as what they can bring to the table.
If you're up for the challenge, we'd actually love to see some Summoner versus Summoner games. If you want to risk it and purchase the summoners and get 3 versus 3 action and see all those kind of new abilities, we would love to commentate on that.
Oh, that would be really fun, actually. But yeah, just looking at the post-game screen here, it was pretty even up as far as team kills go. It all came down to that last team fight. You can see both sides had 6 kills right here. Nothing for Kavash nothing for Vice and Cortex. Neither of which really contributed much to the game. I'm surprised we didn't see more play from Cortex with that capacity overload and Nanite Ray.
Yeah, and it's a bit of a vanilla Vice, like you mentioned earlier. I'm not a big fan of him with that loadout.
Yeah, I mean it's good for farming, but that's about it. We kind of saw, I guess, very much evidenced by this late game team fights that he just wasn't able to do much other than kind of stomp around, and he wasn't really a threat. I love putting some great level 2 gear for him, or Landfall or ECM locks. ECM locks can come into play big in the late game because you can block that heavy damage recon, or with Landfall, if you want to keep the silicate skin for defense, you can jump in and pulverize right in the middle of an enemy formation. But just some other options there for Vice, even though we can see he only kept him level 1 there.
Yeah, and I saw Kavash taking boosters. You spoke to me earlier about boosters versus thrusters. You're not feeling it too much.
I mean, I like thrusters simply because I don't have to take my gunner to level 4. Obviously, we saw both these players went to level 5, but considering that we saw Vice stuck at level 1 and not contributing, maybe you want to go for 2 level 3 rigs and take your tank to level 3 as well, just to give yourself some more options, some more late game fights. And of course, your downtime's lower when you're not taking a level 5 too. If you lose a team fight, you're going to come back 15-20 seconds faster.
That is very true. That is very true. I just amazing what you can learn from the post game and the different strategies that you formulate afterwards, because a point or two into another rig might have made a huge difference.
I mean, you can see on this chart the game was back and forth throughout those last few seconds of that team fight. Like, I mean, even that last second could have gone awry if he hadn't fired that gravity gun. Those 2 rigs would easily have taken out that single one.
Yeah, but, definitely a close game.
But anyways, before you ramble too much longer, go find some of your own replays to watch. There's always so much to learn from other players. And of course, it's easier for us to call the shots when we're sitting on high and not under the stress ourselves. So when we're trying to tell people what to do, we're just offering what we have to see from above. It's a lot harder in the moment, of course. So keep practicing, keep checking out those replays, and we'll be back next week, of course, won't we, Deckard?
We will be back next week, and as always, tomorrow, Wednesday, is another release. So read those patch notes, check out the balance, and enjoy the game.
All right, we'll catch you next time, Dropzone Commanders.
See you later, Belters.